Welcome to a match of Starcraft 2, played by people that are way better than me. Seriously. The map is Oxide spawning in the upper right. One of the two reasons I know you're here. It is the blue Zerg, Serral. And warping in the bottom left, the other reason that I would wager you're probably here for. It is the red Protoss, PartinG. Dramatic intros, check. PartinG's exquisite decal there, check. Going across the map, PartinG doing exactly what you would expect a PartinG, or any Protoss for that matter, to do. And that's a hatch block. Serral not having any of it though, going to do what I'm sure he's all too used to doing at this point, and that's take the third. These two names in the same game, I couldn't resist. I'm quite intrigued to see what's in store. They're both marvelous players, strong beyond anything I can describe, but it's also entertaining. PartinG especially. You have to at least check it out, see if it's going to be an entertaining game. So far, entertaining? Maybe. Probably not yet. But things might heat up in due time. On PartinG side of the map, we see pretty normal opener, gate, Nexus, core. He's just harassing the drones on the other side, forcing Serral to pay attention here. Serral is going to take the third now. Or just rallying the drone over to mine. You don't want your number to ever go red, because red's bad. That's what we learned back in elementary school, right? Red bad. Don't take that as PartinG is bad though, because PartinG is red. But if you're a Protoss, you might say PartinG good. Couple Lings coming out now, Queen's on the way, and Zergling speed as well. Serral completely pulled off of gas, so definitely something's gonna happen. Probably a third base. On PartinG side of the map, Stargate is the tech choice. Who would have thought? It's a PVZ. Get a Stargate. Third hatch is going down for Serral, so spot on with that recommendation. Adept canceling the Shade, actually. Sending out the Shade maybe to fake out the Overlord. Zergling just walks right in like he owns the place. I'm sorry, do you pay rent here? Do you pay these bills? PartinG just gonna let him waltz right in. The Adept, likewise. She pays the bills. She knows what's up. Both of these players, a tremendous amount of respect. You'd never see that kind of patience and tolerance in the low metal leagues. You tell me I'm wrong. Low metal league, Zergling gets in, you're pulling all those probes. 16 probes gonna hunt down that Zergling. Prove me wrong. Void Ray coming out, followed by an Oracle for PartinG, gonna go after the Overlord that is not here. Serral with the impressive power of foresight, thought, and planning, pulling that Overlord back to a bit of safety. Void Ray is going out, going to find a scouting Zergling, which finds the third base for Serral. So, good pickup. Robo going down for PartinG behind this, along with gases 3 and 4. Queens desperately trying to make their way across the dreaded creepless gap there. Couple spores being made. What's the plan for Serral though? You have to wonder. Queen production is rather minimal, so it is unlikely to be any sort of Queen March or Queen aggression at this time. Oracle comes in, going to be fended off by a single Queen's Needles, but gets off a Revelation. Revelation, as you know, while not physically damaging, is one of the most emotionally damaging spells in the Protoss arsenal. There is nothing more scary than being watched. I think there was a song about that at some point, that somebody feels like they're always watching them. That's all I'm gonna say. Evo Chamber going down along with Roach Warren and Lair Tech for Serral. Look at me, falling back onto the production tab. A caster's best friend. Gas is going up for Serral, so we might start to see things actually heat up in this 5-minute PvZ and save me from boring you all into oblivion. Robo Bay. Place your bets now. Is the Robo Bay going to be Colossus? Is it going to be Disruptors? Or something much more scary? Observer Speed. Ooh. Could be Warp Prism Speed too, but that would just make too much sense. Adepts on this side of the map, they do not have glaives, and glaives is not in production. So, how much damage can they really get done? Zerglings and Roaches going to get us around, try and fend those Adepts off. Behind this, PartinG is going for both Void Rays and Disruptors, one of the most ultimate anti-Roach compositions. I personally would like to see Immortals in that as well, but I'm rather partial to Immortals personally. Spire on the way for Serral. That's an interesting choice. Don't normally see that in the standard play. I'm excited. Observers moving around, getting a bit of scouting information. Zerglings, they do not get in, but they see the Disruptor, and that's big. That's good intel. Adept Shade going into the natural. They complete. Drones now under threat, but they respond with pinchers, with teeth, with vengeance and fury. Unfortunately, vengeance and fury can only get you so far. 12 drones are going to fall. They will be remembered. Serral gonna have to replace those drones, taking his anger out on the nearby observer and rocks simultaneously. How dare those rocks bear witness to the death of drones. Void Ray harassing creep tumors, thus revealing the presence of an observer. More revelations going out in the main base, emotionally damaging a hatchery, which is a lot less damage than this fleet beacon might cause. Ladies and gents, it is going to Sky Toss. Can my voice handle it? Are we in for a 20-minute game, a 30-minute game, or a 40-minute game? Past that, I really hope not. But we'll see. I'm in it. I'm invested. Phoenix production starting up. So PartinG definitely had to have seen the Spire. Yeah, he saw the Spire building, thus the Phoenix production. Maybe the upgrade from the fleet beacon for Phoenix. The, what is it? Pulse, anion, crystals, something like that. Protoss upgrades sound really cool. High-tech stuff. No, Flux Veins, which might be one of the less cool sounding upgrade names for Protoss, but is still pretty rad. Void Ray production is picking up. Void Ray speed is what Flux Veins is. I said Flux Veins, I didn't explain what it was. It's movement speed and acceleration increase for Void Rays. So PartinG is planning to make a lot of Void Rays, get them upgrades, get them tech, and then use them. Hopefully in that order. Phoenix picked up a Zergling. Not a very fair fight, if you ask me. But the Queens will get vengeance. Void Rays forcing back both Zerglings and Creep Tumors. You didn't think Creep Tumors could be forced back, but here we are. Charge also going up behind this along with Templar and Gates, so we're just getting everything. There is no longer a plan or a tech tree. It's the bush, the tech bush, if you will. We're just getting everything. The Disruptors here, too. 2 Disruptors that I don't think have actually been used, but they've been spotted, scouted. Greater Spire being made for Serral on the other side here. Ooh, Brood Lords. I didn't think I would be this lucky. I like that both players have kind of silently agreed to just build up. We've all agreed that we're going to the late game. We're going for Sky Toss. So here we are. 7 gates on the way. Templar being warped in as well. Zealots going to meet their glorious end at the hands of 30-something Zerglings there. Void Rays going to show their superiority, their dominance. Hit them from above. Zealots do not have charge yet. 12 seconds off. I'm not sure how aggressive you really want to be with them. 7 Broodlords in production. Broodlords, as you know, one of the most dominant siege units for Zerg, however very vulnerable to air units. So what kind of anti-air defense does Serral have? 13 queens. It looks like a couple infestors could do some damage, but it's really going to be up to the queens. So shaping up to be a Broodlord queen push. Who would have thought that this was the game in store? Charge Lot's going to deal some damage. Zerglings on the other side. It's about time things heated up. We're done with our 10-minute no rush. Warning, rule. Let's go with rule or guideline. 10 minutes no rush is over, and now the queens are in the middle of the map. The Broodlords are joining them. Zerg royalty. In the same shot, too. The lords and ladies of Zerg power. Roach is going to pick off some zealots in the bottom right. Meanwhile, some zealots trying to pick off a queen. They get distracted by the spine crawler, though. PartinG. He's on creep. He has an observer here now. Observer speed? Really? Oh, yes, I was right. We got observer speed in the game. 1 zealot, making a bit of an annoyance for Serral. Meanwhile, zealots on the other side, spines having to defend. Phoenix is going to sacrifice their life. PartinG would rather have the supply. Phoenix is not very useful against Broodlord, Corruptor, Queen, Infestor, Roach. We have all of that. Yeah. 7 voids. PartinG going to switch into carrier production now too, because we all know it's that kind of game. Everybody's just going to get their upgrades, get their tech. PartinG doesn't have a whole lot of free supply to work with, though. Definitely not now that we're going mothership. Oh boy. Zealots again just getting some damage done anywhere they can. Serral taken down to a whopping 81 drones. Economy very well set up. Void Rays in the bottom right. Gazing at Flora, just making sure that those trees aren't going anywhere. Burrow on the way too, along with Neural Parasite. Let's just get everything. Why not? I'm past the point of mincing details here. Carriers, Warp Prism Mothership in production. More Zealots just trying to get some damage done. Distract Serral maybe, but the real fight's coming. Tectonic destabilizers the Tempest upgrade. On the way. Are there even any Tempests? No, there's not even any Tempests. Why would you get Tectonic destabilizers if you don't even have Tempests? Because you might eventually have Tempests Indigos. Of course. Who would have thought? What's going on here? Adepts. There's Adepts still. At this stage in the game, there's one Adept. And a group of Immortals meets the Zerg royalty. That is not a fair fight at all. Broodling's gonna force them back. Roaches on the other side though. Void Rays and Archons making this an equally unfair fight. But Serral gets the cancel on the base, putting him in a decent position. Immortals really testing their resolve up against spine crawlers. Taking a lot of damage, actually. I don't see Immortals really take that much damage that quickly. 3 spines apparently can mess up some Immortals. Zealot, Adept, Immortal, hit squad there. Sky Toss versus Rocks. The content that you all came here to see. I know. Psystorm gonna finish up. Meanwhile, more upgrades in production. What are we looking at? Serral's got 2-1, 2-1-1. And that makes sense. PartinG at 2-2, working his way up to 3-3. Skirmish? No. Oh, good feedbacks on the infestors, though. An insta-pop. More feedbacks? That was gruesome. Good stasis ward, though, returning with a storm before High Templar gets killed off. Ambitious hatchery. You know the warp prism's there. The mothership finished, and recall is used offensively. Carriers, void rays, archons. It's time to zoom out. Or not. It's not my fault. Really? We're recalling? I can't win. Yeah, Serral's got the idea there. But he was just here. What happened? Protoss. That's what happened. Serral going to vent some of that rage on these cannons and shield batteries. Good vein connections dealing a lot of damage to the structures. PartinG. He doesn't have enough supply to actually warp in. Over here, the Flux Vein Void Rays coming to the rescue, though. Serral gonna back off, not going for the Nexus, not gonna dive in on it despite it just being Zerglings. Psystorm versus a few Zerglings there. Also not a fair fight. Dark Shrine at 16 minutes. We're just rounding out all of the tech choices now. Corruptor, Broodlord, Infestor, Queen. Good fungal onto the Warp Prism. It's gonna get picked off. Broodlings testing the wall. Not a wall. It's not a wall, I know. Meanwhile, Corruptor's gonna try and zone out. Good abduct onto the carrier. Small bits and pieces of advantages are what you need as the Zerg here. You have to try and pick apart that Protoss army. It takes a lot of patience, a lot of awareness. You abduct a few carriers here and there, or you get ready for the big fight. You'll need things like Neural. You need parasitic bombs, even. You have to try and get an edge over the Protoss units because, as I'm sure many of you know, Protoss units are indeed Protoss units, which means they're very strong. High Templar gonna feedback a Viper, doesn't kill it, but makes it feel very tired. Gets rid of the energy. Hatchery gonna be picked off by a few Dark Templar. I like the choice. PartinG knows that Serral is squaring off with him in the middle of the map here. So they're both now just trying to find little bits of damage on the exterior. You want to try and distract your opponent, see if they can make a mistake or not. Void Ray's going to force the Corruptors back, but fungal growth and Broodlord combination is deadly. Those Archons cannot escape. The Oracle is picked off. Stasis Ward onto nothing. Corruptors get a carrier. Trades are going well. Trades are going well. I think Serral in just a slight advantage, but not enough to really call the game, because PartinG is making 5 carriers at a time. That's a number. That's a scary number, shall we say. DT's being annoying up there. Ultralisk gonna have to put them down. Meanwhile, PartinG rotating up to the northern side of the map, which is also a good decision. You might think carriers are slow until you see Broodlords. Slow down, guys. Get a speeding ticket of 5 miles an hour. Ultralisk Zerglings being annoying. Luckily, PartinG does have some free supply. Battery overcharge going to be used. Can the Ultra get away by the power of the wind coming off of his chitinous plating there? Serral got the speed upgrade for Overlord, which gives it a little wind trail when it's moving. Makes me just think the Ultralisk is going whoosh as he flies through the air without actually flying. Zerglings meeting some Void Rays, both players just posturing. Welcome to PvZ, everyone. I hope you brought your beverage and your popcorn, because I have absolutely no idea how long this is going to take. Corruptors? Oh, good abduct onto the mothership. Can they get it? No, he saves it. 14 probes are picked off, though. That base is gone. The Ultra and Ling combo going to get that. 12 more Lings in production. Whew. Army supply advantage does go to Serral, but it's just barely. Spores, picking off a couple Void Rays actually. The mothership is very low here. Whew, lots of feedbacks out on the queens. Microbial Shroud used to protect those queens. Meanwhile, the Broodlord's picking off all of the Archons. Corruptors moving forward. Hatchery also going to die. What's going on down here? Zerglings just being annoying. Being Zerglings. PartinG making cannons up here. This is Zerg territory. Not anymore, he says. 10 more Corruptors on the way. I like the idea. Serral knows he picked off all of the ground units. There's one Archon, which is somewhere. He's up there. The Archon's up there. There's one Zealot, a couple DTs maybe. We're warping in Stalkers. Uh-oh. One DT picking off the Greater Spire. That's annoying. Doesn't look like anything's really going to step in and try and stop him, though. Void Rays being sacrificed, being picked off. Oh, Zerglings did stop him. Okay, very good. I'm not sure Serral actually plans to make any more Broodlords, losing the Greater Spire, but I believe that's also the only... No, I'm wrong. There's another Spire. Double Spire. Stalker Zealot gonna try and pick off his hatch. Zerglings and Ultra should be able to shut that down, though. Meanwhile, the main army's posturing. What to do? What to do? How are you doing? How's your day? I hope you're having a good day. Oh, Observer picked off by the strength of 23 Corruptors versus one Observer. That seems unfair. High Templar moving a bit too far forward, meeting a death at the hands of 52,000 Broodlings. No, I'm not overreacting. It's around there. Oh, great spread from PartinG, though. Here is the battle. Microbial Shroud used on the Queens. Void Rays overcharge. Spores uprooted and questioning their purpose in life. Parasitic Bomb goes out on the carriers. Broodlords picked off. Great fungal growth, though. The Void Ray overcharge wears off the Corruptors, now able to do some work. Queens still alive and putting in work as well. Broodlords, they need to offer some support for these Corruptors, though. It's too many carriers. Oh my gosh, there's still 7 carriers alive. PartinG gonna take the battle. Serral does have the ability to remax, though. 14 Corruptors and 6 Ultras are on the way. I'm not sure that's gonna be enough Corruptors, actually. 30? We're going up to 30 Corruptors? It's tough to say. Fungal growth used. The Corruptors get on top of the carriers. Fungal growth offering some support as well. Parasitic Bomb. It's totally enough Corruptors. I never doubted him even for a second. PartinG gonna have to call GG, losing all of his carriers in that engagement. That was a beautiful fight, though. The spread, that was box art level. Woo. If you enjoyed the game, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you have a great day.